Something just shook the defense stock market. Trump posted on Truth Social, and within hours, defense stocks plunged 7%. Then they shot right back up. But buried in all that chaos is a massive opportunity, one that could flood defense stocks with up to $600 billion. And no, most retail investors haven't caught on yet. If you miss this, you could be buying in at the worst possible moment. But if you play it right, you might just be positioned for a multi-year bull run in defense stocks. Stay with me, because I'm about to show you the truth behind this whirlwind and what it means for your money. Don't blink. The next few minutes could change everything. What's really going on with defense stocks? It all starts with one explosive move. Trump, in typical fashion, posted a blistering message on Truth Social, calling out defense contractors like Raytheon for prioritizing shareholders over military needs. Immediately, defense stocks crashed, losing billions in market value. But then Trump drops the bombshell, an executive order aimed at slashing executive pay and stopping stock buybacks. The markets didn't just react, they flipped. But here's the twist no one's talking about. Just hours later, Trump announces he wants to raise the 2027 military budget by $500 billion. That's not just talk. $500 billion in new spending is massive. And if you're an investor, this could be the biggest opportunity you've ever seen. But here's the catch. Will the plan actually work? Will Trump's bold moves be the catalyst for a defense sector surge? Or are we witnessing a dangerous gamble? The answer could make or break your next big investment. Let's dive into the details. This is where the real opportunity lies. Trump didn't just vent his frustration online, he took action. He signed an executive order banning defense contractors from paying dividends or buying back their stock until they deliver superior products on time and on budget. And that's a game changer. Raytheon, Lockheed Martin, Northrop Grumman, they all saw their stock prices tank. Billions of dollars wiped off the board. But then something strange happened. Trump wasn't done yet. He tweeted again, this time announcing a $500 billion boost to the military budget. Now, if you're wondering what this means, let me break it down. This sudden budget boost is like a floodgate opening, allowing massive amounts of money to flood into defense stocks. Investors are already positioning themselves, and some are making moves you've probably missed. Take Lockheed Martin. Just 2 hours after the second tweet, their stock shot up, reversing all losses. That's not just luck. This is a market shifting before our eyes, and it's not too late to get in on it. So what's going on here? Is it a temporary dip, or are we about to see the start of a massive defense sector boom? The next few moves in this drama will decide everything, and you won't want to miss them. But wait, this story doesn't end here. As Trump's executive order hit the defense sector, stocks didn't just drop, they crashed. But the real story isn't just about the immediate loss, it's about what happens next. This kind of move isn't just a blip, it's the beginning of something far bigger. Think about it. This isn't the first time we've seen massive government intervention in defense spending. We've seen it before in different forms, during wartime, post 9/11, and even during the Cold War. But now, with a potential $500 billion influx of new funding, we're in a new era, and that's where things get dangerous for the average investor. Why? Because the markets are reacting to an unpredictable president with a flair for shocking the system. And just when you think you've got a grip on it, things shift again. That's exactly what happened with this surprise tweet about the military budget, leading defense stocks to recover and, in some cases, soar. Here's where the danger lies. Investors are used to stability, but what happens when the rules change overnight? Are you ready to adapt to a market that's anything but predictable? If this momentum continues, it could mean huge gains. But if the political landscape shifts, we could see a market roller coaster like no other. Hold on tight. The real risk might just be ahead. Now let's talk about what's really happening beneath the surface. Trump's executive order isn't just a slap on the wrist for defense contractors. It's a wake-up call. This move forces companies to rethink how they do business. Dividends? Gone. Buybacks? Banned. Executive pay capped at $5 million, that's huge. And here's the twist. It's forcing companies to reallocate resources. Lockheed Martin, Raytheon, and others may be feeling the sting in the short term, but in the long run, This could change everything. Imagine what happens when these companies can no longer return profits to shareholders. Instead, they have to reinvest that money into production capacity, into making better products faster. That's more output, more contracts, and yes, more revenue. But here's the thing most people aren't seeing. With all this money coming into the defense sector, it's not just about buying stocks anymore. It's about getting ahead of a massive shift that could impact everything, from military contracts to the economy as a whole. So what does this mean for you as an investor? The smart money is already on the move, and it's not too late to join the wave. But here's the catch. If you wait too long, you might miss the biggest gains of the decade. Because with the right moves, we're looking at an unprecedented opportunity. The big question now is, how will the markets react when this massive shift happens? And more importantly, how will you position yourself for what's coming next? This is where things start to spiral. Things are moving fast now. Too fast for most investors to keep up. Let me break it down. First, Trump's executive order sends shockwaves through defense stocks. Then, his $500 billion budget bombshell flips the script completely. That's two major hits in a matter of hours. But the pressure doesn't stop there. Just when you think it can't get more intense, here comes the next bombshell. The market's starting to see massive trades, unusual trades. That signals smart money is getting ready for a huge shift. $400,000 in options, predicting a huge surge in Lockheed Martin stock. Just hours later, those trades are already up by nearly $200,000. These aren't small-time investors. They're the big players, and they're positioning themselves for the exact thing we're watching unfold right now. Now, what happens if this trend continues? We're looking at a potential multi-year bull run in defense stocks, but it's not going to be a smooth ride. No, it's going to be a bumpy one with wild fluctuations along the way. If you're not ready for that, you could miss out when the opportunity explodes. So here's the burning question. Are you positioned correctly for this explosive surge, or are you sitting on the sidelines watching it pass by? You've got to act fast because the train is already leaving the station. Now let's step back and think about what all this means for you. You're not a Wall Street pro. You're not in the room with the top traders, but that doesn't mean you're shut out of this opportunity. In fact, this is where most regular investors get left behind when the big players move too quickly and leave you scrambling to catch up. But this time you've got a shot. Why? Because we're talking about a shift that could impact you directly, not just some distant, abstract market move. The fallout from this shift won't just affect billion-dollar companies. It'll affect you, your investments, your portfolio, and even your financial future. If you're wondering how this is going to play out, it's simple. You've got defense contractors poised to rake in billions in government contracts. They're going to need workers, they're going to need resources, and most importantly, they're going to need to produce results. And guess what? You and I both know that's where the real money is going to flow. But here's where it gets personal. If this is starting to feel familiar, like something you've seen before, drop a comment below. Is this the kind of market movement you've seen in your own experience? Or is this completely new territory for you? Now let's dive into what's really driving this momentum and where you can make your next move. This isn't just about making a quick profit. There's something deeper at play here, something far more unsettling. When the government steps in with this kind of power, it's not just a market fluctuation, it's a systemic shift. Trump's order to cap executive pay and cut off buybacks isn't just a punishment, it's a reset. It forces these contractors to refocus their energy from enriching shareholders to actually improving production. But here's the uncomfortable truth. This is all being driven by incentives far larger than just defense contracts. The U.S. government is reshaping the defense landscape, and in doing so, it's reshaping how corporate America functions. This is leverage on an industrial scale. When the government makes a move like this, it ripples through the entire economy. Everything from military strategy to the stock market gets affected. Think about this. If defense contractors were left to their own devices, they might have continued to focus on short-term profits at the expense of long-term strategy. But now, with this massive budget boost and the new executive order, they have to play by new rules. And what does that mean? You are the one who gets to watch how the power structures of this country, corporate and government, shift before your eyes. You're not just witnessing a market event, you're watching a play unfold that could change the nature of defense spending forever. The question is, how long will it take for the effects to fully materialize, and will you be ready when they do? Now, the future of this whole situation? It could go two ways, both paths leading to dramatic outcomes, but with wildly different consequences. On one hand, if Trump's defense push takes hold and the military budget keeps rising, we could see a massive influx of cash into defense contractors, fueling unprecedented growth. Lockheed Martin, Raytheon, and the others could be sitting on multi-year contracts, delivering products and systems that the military will depend on for decades. But here's the flip side. If Congress pushes back, or if the political landscape shifts in ways we can't predict, then we might see this whole plan come crashing down. If the money doesn't come through or the Golden Dome defense system fails to live up to its promises, we could be looking at a massive reset in defense stocks and a lot of investors left holding the bag. Which way is this going to break? We don't know yet, but one thing is certain. The momentum is already building. The forces are in motion. The next few months will decide which direction the market goes, and you'll have to be quick to adapt if you want to take advantage of what's coming. The window for big gains might be closing faster than you think. Here's the big takeaway from all of this. In the world of defense stocks, the landscape is shifting, and it's shifting fast. Trump's defense push could mean huge opportunities for those who position themselves right. But make no mistake, the risks are real. Political uncertainty and the fragility of big defense projects could throw everything into chaos. But if you believe military spending will only grow from here, then this might be the start of a massive multi-year bull run. So what's your next move? It's simple. Watch the money flow, track the contractors, and decide how much risk you're willing to take. Just remember, this is a long-term play. This isn't about getting rich overnight. It's about being positioned for the next few years when defense spending is set to explode. But here's the catch. The real value is in understanding what's happening behind the headlines. If you can do that, you'll be ahead of the pack, and that's where the real opportunity lies. If you want more in-depth analysis, don't forget to follow and subscribe for the next update, because we'll be digging deeper into the next phase of this market and what's coming next. This is just the beginning, and you're going to want to be ready when the next move hits.